Behind the Counter is sponsored by
Audible.com, the internet's leading provider of audiobooks, with more than 100,000 downloadable titles across all types of literature. And by Stitcher Radio. Listen on the go via the Stitcher mobile app. For more information, go to stitcher.com/GFQ.
Hey, welcome once again to Behind the Counter. Today starts season 2 of Behind the Counter, a show which I, Rich Stambolian, host along with Jonathan Adler, who is sitting next to me. The inspiration for all the Heisenbergs you'll ever need.
I am all the Heisenbergs.
Are you wearing all the? Are you wearing the tidy whities right now?
I'm always wearing the tidy whities. See, that or Commando.
You know, after you told me about him wanting to do that on purpose, I don't like this, by the way.
It drives me nuts. I just realized that it drives me.
Is that new?
No, this like the new stand.
Same stand as always.
It's moved like to the side. Usually, like
I'm looking directly at a stand. I feel like I'm looking at like I'm in a weird confessional booth. In the future.
Anyway, there's a giant camera stand.
I feel like I'm a spy inside of like a factory.
On
talking through pipes.
While you guys are watching, I'm looking in a different direction, but I'm actually staring at John. And usually I can look him right in the eye, and now I can't.
Look at me in the eye when you talk to me.
I can look you in the ear right now.
I'm just watching your lips move. That's it.
When you when you told me a couple of weeks ago that all that tidy whitey stuff and him being a klutz, Bryan Cranston, that was like his own like deal just to like get like a joke out of it. Yeah. I watched like a few other clips of him, and I'm like, you know what? That guy's a genius. It's so funny.
Yeah. I was I was at Halloween. I went as Heisenberg. That's why I have this thing going on my face.
Yeah.
I was walking. The tyvek suit is so hot.
Yeah.
And at one point, Ralph was my Jesse.
Mm-hmm. Badge.
There was also a bunch of Heisenbergs running around that we were in competition with.
Really?
Yeah. I kept telling them to get out of my territory.
Did you bring the blue?
Oh yeah, I got a bunch of rock candy and I put it in baggies.
Nice.
I was tipping the bar guy with baggies. By surprise.
He probably thought you were a total dick.
He had no idea. He was gonna see like a whole bag full of drugs at the end of the day. So I'm walking around and like at one point, like sexy Breaking Bad characters came in, like
sexy.
Yeah, like a girl came in with like a tyvek suit, like made into a skirt, and another one was wearing like underwear, like over like fishnet stockings. It's like, oh, I'm season 1 Breaking Bad. They're very dumpy.
I'm season 1 Breaking Bad. The whole season.
She's like, oh, it's like I'm in my underwear, and I take the suit off. I was like, yeah, me too.
Awesome.
I had no inhibitions. I was in my underwear the entire night, and
That's
it felt
awesome.
Wonderful.
I'm sure, man. Like tidy whitey, did you get the air on the legs and everything?
Well, they were like basically like white boxer briefs. They went like I was showing a lot of leg, but I wasn't showing like they didn't come into the crease.
Did you wear a cup, or you just went like balls to the wall?
Balls to the wall.
Yeah.
What was amazing was the place that we went to the party at. There was a back room where they usually have like a stripper pole where you take pictures and everything. It's a photo studio. But this time that they had, it was like a camera that broadcast you like above the stage of where the dance thing was. So I went stripped down to my tidy whities and I did like dick slang. For like a good half an hour.
The helicopter dick?
Yeah. It's amazing.
I don't know if I want to see footage of that. I kind of do because you're my friend.
Yeah,
but, I already do. So what's going on, man? We haven't been around for
2 years.
It's been 2 years. I don't know if there's a new show on GFQ, Behind the Counter season 2.
I'm pissed. That's vinegar.
It's the full name. So what's going on, dude?
Not a whole lot, man.
Yeah.
Welcome back to America.
Thank you. For those that don't know, I'm an expat. I was overseas.
We're now broadcasting from where are we broadcasting from today?
We are in the jungles of Siam.
Oh yes, beautiful weather.
Much like John McAfee, I can't even go there.
He's a murderer now, right?
He's
Allegedly.
Did you read the whole thing about him?
I just saw your post about it. I didn't get a chance to read the article. I just remember it now.
Apparently, killing somebody, I feel like, is not even the tip of the iceberg, as sad as that is to say. But apparently, this dude moved to, I think it was like Bolivia or Colombia or whatever, and he was obsessed with boner drugs.
Really?
Like, yeah, he was like
Who isn't?
crazy obsessed with like erectile enhancement drugs, like natural drugs, and like he really wanted to like perfect a drug that gave you the ultimate boner.
The ultimate boner.
And that was the thing. And he started hanging out with like gangsters and like mafia guys from like South America, and he fell like the guy who protects a computer fell in with the wrong crowd.
boner
pills,
crowd.
The boner crowd. It's so nuts. Nuts.
I don't understand. Like, if you're looking for the ultimate boner, I mean, like, I think every boner I've had is pretty much the ultimate boner. I don't think you can top that boner.
No, like that morning, you know.
Yeah,
It gets it going.
it does.
Why are we talking about this?
Dick jokes.
This is exactly what you want to hear out of a comic book show. Still better than Comic Book Men, though.
Much better. I get nauseous just watching the commercial for it.
Oh, it's that dude's beard, man.
Yeah,
his
I'm
beard
all for beards, but that guy sucks.
drives me up a wall, man. It looks like he was the last Inquisitor in the Spanish Inquisition.
He looks like a little like 12-year-old kid, like shaved his cat and tried to do like a wizard impression just by gluing crap on his face.
Tell him, Steve Dave. He looks like Friar Tuck from an unmade Showtime Robin Hood movie.
I'm Friar Tuck. I am from England.
Who said that? So let's talk about comics.
Yeah, let's talk about comics. This is so weird looking at this stand.
Yeah, it is, right? Maybe.
I really did not move it.
Yeah, you did.
That's a different stand.
This is so much bigger.
It's like
more robust.
like a
No
giant
way.
camera with a microphone pointing up.
Yes.
There's nobody up there, man. What are you miking your ceiling fan? At least it's level though. You got the levels on the tripod.
Yeah, it
That's
is
cool.
I feel like this thing's gonna transform halfway through the show.
I think it's gonna fall.
It has many times.
Everything
so far.
falls in this place.
Anyway, yeah. So
You missed a lot.
I did, right?
There's a ton of stuff that
I
happened.
know. Besides the hurricane, I missed so much.
What do you miss? I was gonna do like a recap of some news, but not a lot happened.
No, I tried my best to catch up. I know that Young Justice is getting canceled.
I know, right? Oh God.
That's it. Oh, we're also in contact with a few cosplayers. So if you ladies are watching, feel free to come on right now. The air with us. And also, if I'm wearing a different shirt tonight, I might as well get that out of the way before we get steamrolled. This company, Filth and Decay, actually made me a XX shirt because all they have is like hipster large. And I contacted them, and they were like, "Yeah, no problem, man. Like, we'll take care of your fat ass. Just send me a shirt." So filthanddecay.com.
We will cover your body with our black.
I told them I was going to give them a shout out. They're really sweet, apparently.
Good stuff. I think I'm gonna buy a shirt off of them. I like that Hangman shirt they have.
The Hangman shirt's cool. The Devil Tarot card's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
But
there's a big thing that happened this week. That Tony Harris calling out all the cosplayers. Did you read about this?
Yo, I went on Twitter yesterday, and I was like, I haven't been on Twitter in a while. Let me flex my Twitter muscles and talk to some creators maybe. And I stumbled into the middle of this gigantic like cosplay debate. And I don't like, if you have the origin of it, please tell me like what was the first thing that happened?
Tony Harris basically came on Twitter and said like, I've been doing conventions for a long time. I'm really sick of these like pretty girls who obviously don't read comic books come in and just like do a Google image search for like the costume they can make just to get exposure for whatever they're doing.
Okay.
And he got blasted. And this dude started like blocking people and remind people that the Whistling Skull is coming out.
by the way,
it's coming out at the end of the month. And then like Cosplay Appreciation Day was either today or yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's been coming out of the woodwork. So I mean, I read a really in-depth article on Comics Alliance about like how they're defending this and like how like basically defending cosplayers. Like, who are we to even say like, you're not allowed into our club? It's very much like the old boys club saying like, we're totally alienating people from coming into like the comic thing. And I was reading the comments, which is always a bad idea.
Oh yeah, forget it.
Just scrolling down after an article is always a bad move.
Die.
Now you had some sensible people, especially on Comics Alliance. They do have a lot of like good mad people, but this one guy was equating it to like old fans coming into like say like an old like 1980s comic book fan or 1970s comic fan comes in, is like, where did these women come from? And someone was talking about like the these social, like, they don't have the social tics that a lot of comic fans do.
Yeah.
And that rubbed me the wrong way too, because
Yeah.
it automatically, by reading comics, we've talked about this before, like the idea that you need to have like some type of like social retardation, or speech impediment, to actually just read comics and enjoy this crap.
I think it's like, what I don't like about this whole argument, from what I gathered, was it turned into like a huge feminist rant.
Yeah.
You know, which, like, listen, man, like, I'm not saying I see where Tony Harris is coming from, but that's a dude who's consistent. He bleeds for his art. That guy is working in a lab all day drawing stuff, and he's an amazing artist, right? So if he's looking up and seeing like a chick dressed like Ex Machina and saying like, "Oh, cool, you read my book," and she's like, "No, I just wanted to wear a leather outfit," of course he's gonna get mad. But by the same time, like, why would you shun somebody from like actually just showing up?
Why would you
like,
get mad?
You know,
I don't say that's the thing I understand. Like, why? Like, let him in. You know, like, I understand. Like, listen, you go to Comic-Con, especially what we went through. I mean, a good chunk of those people, I like manga people and anime people, and like, you know, and we do have a blending of culture and everything. But like, if somebody wants to come and dress up and walk around in like some costume that they think is awesome, let them. I'm sure they did some research before going on.
Absolutely.
And maybe, you know, through the experience, they'll, you know, find a larger place for their crap.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about that. But on the nerd thing, because we've been on both sides of the spectrum, it's, you know, like, there's a lot of times where you wanna do like that big shutdown because, you know, you're such a fanboy, but you suppress it because you're not socially retarded. Yeah. As people point that out, you know. Whereas like the big thing for me that gives me like a facial tick is, and again, this is like a pure fanboy thing, is meeting somebody who says that they read comics, you know, and then you're like, oh, you know, like you try to get the ball rolling. You're like, I love comics. What about, let's talk about comics, man. You know, let's talk about these comics. And then they're like, well, I read like this Amazing Spider-Man story. I read Sandman. And then, you know, in your head, you're like, you read one comic. Like, you don't read comics. You don't buy comics every week. Wednesday isn't like your euphoric drug where you buy comics and you go home and you cry.
Well, how about someone like me?
You're not a fan.
I'm not. I do follow some. I used to buy a lot of comics.
You like the genre.
I do.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
But you're not dressing up like Khal Drago and going to a convention.
Which you should be.
Exactly. You should put on 30 pounds of muscle and be Khal Drago next year.
I kind of do resemble him.
You do.
But like,
you are the steed that mounts the earth.
But you're like, I feel like if you went to a Comic-Con, and this is by knowing you, and, you know, let's say if we go next year and you found a booth, I feel like you, as kind of like a guy who doesn't really know like stuff that's going on out besides the show, would approach a table and be like, hey, tell me about this. You know, I want to get into it. Tell me about it.
No.
I think that may be part of the argument where, like, I think that's where a lot of the hate comes from with the boys club thing, because you're wearing a costume, but you're not approaching anybody saying like, what could I do about this? Like, what? Like, give me stories. You know, like, you don't see a guy dressed like Deadpool holding Deadpool comics being like, I'm going to do more research.
No, I don't think anyone's doing that.
Whatever. It's a weird argument. It's a non-argument. It's a big non-argument. It's a non-argument like if gays should get married. You know, like, who cares? Who cares? Just show up and do business, and that's it. Maybe you'll have some fun.
Yeah, I agree. I just think it was an idiotic thing to say on Twitter, but it seems like more often than not that is constantly just happening all the time from creators. Mm-hmm. Like hearing Ethan Van Sciver, you know, fight with Rob Liefeld about politics is just like, these are two people I do not want to hear this conversation.
But you know what? Those conversations pre-Twitter and pre-Facebook took place over email. And now that everything's so out in the open, where like everybody's so accessible.
Dumb.
You know, you can talk to Greg Capullo on Twitter and he'll be like, I love Black Label Society.
I was about to say that. I was just about to say that. I totally love metal.
Yeah. And like he'll be cool about it. Or you can talk to like Ethan Van Sciver or like Dan Slott. Dan Slott's amazing at answering fan questions.
I love sandwiches.
You know, I'm walking around the city all day. I write Spider-Man. I love it.
I will ban you if you spoil my next issue of Spider-Man.
I look like I work in a deli. I would love to work in a deli. But I write Spider-Man.
I would enjoy that very much.
It's my Dan Slott impression, everybody. But
I have no idea how it sounds. I just feel it sounds like it's just like a very wet, like a very wet mouth.
Yeah. Imagine if you talked in a whisper.
Spider-Man.
I made Harry look like Heisenberg.
Let's talk about Spider-Man.
All right, let's talk about Spider-Man. He's amazing.
He is amazing, but soon to be superior.
Yeah. I immediately picture like a gigantic suit of armor.
Yeah, He's a Transformer.
Like a manga.
The new comic is going to be about a manga Transformer that somehow is called Spider-Man.
I hope it's about the man spider.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Oh, the spider's man. Yeah, go ahead, man. Let's talk about Spidey.
So number 700 is rolling around of main Spider-Man.
Milestone,
huge. Is that their longest running number scheme that they've had so far?
I believe it is.
I think so, because FF dropped theirs for the most part, or they didn't hit theirs yet.
No, they didn't.
No, I think they did. I don't know. Whatever. No, they couldn't. Because they came after Spidey. Whatever, dude. Who cares? So anyway, they're wrapping up this big.
We're back.
They're wrapping up this big storyline, which has been going on forever with this Doctor Octopus thing, where he's dying and he's about to find out Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Who Peter Parker is? That's that kid. They're tortured all their life.
I married his age.
And so the comic ends with number 700, and it's going to be restarted as Superior Spider-Man, which is one of the most alienating titles I've ever heard in my life. As a Semite. As a Semite. And it's not going to be Peter Parker. It's some guy with claws and pointy feet.
Is it D guy? Oh,
yeah.
It's not going to be Wolverine.
It might be Wolverine. This guy's supposed to be a prick. He's got like a blacker version of his costume. So the big speculation is what is like the next issue of Spider-Man is going to have something that's monumental in it. And supposedly everyone who's read this already says an amazing storyline. It's like Slott just totally landed the plane.
Awesome.
Did the thumbs up. Mission accomplished. And
I like that analogy. It's awesome.
So they're gonna so the big speculation is who this Spider-Man's gonna be, what's gonna happen to Peter Parker. What do you think? What do you think of this idea, and what do you think they're going with this thing?
You know what? Like I'm perturbed by the whole thing because
it's temporary.
And it's temporary. It's always temporary with Spidey. But I like the fact that Slott makes it temporary. Like when the new costumes show up, it's like, when he had that crazy like bulbous head and then
he's gone through so many
that
costumes.
Weird Spidey armor. Like Slott knows what he's doing as far as that goes. It's never a permanent thing. I also get confused a little bit by the ads in the issues because, in that last issue of Spidey, you had the preview of Doc Ock screaming Peter Parker from like a hospital bed. And you also had a preview of Morbius holding up Spider-Man, like throwing him off the building. So maybe it's Morbius. Maybe the new Spider-Man's Morbius.
Well, he did this weird thing. Like there's been a lot of people who get busted on Twitter for thinking they're direct messaging somebody and then get like revealing something.
It's called idiots.
Yeah. So Dan Slott apparently did this to
sorry, Dan Slott.
To himself. To somebody. I don't remember whatever artist is drawing Superior Spider-Man. I don't remember who it is. And he said like, oh, I came up with some more stuff for Miguel to do. And supposedly this is like kind of giving away that Spidey might be Miguel O'Hara from Spider-Man 2099.
Ah, okay.
But, hey, Andrew knows what I'm talking about.
Join the club.
I don't think it's going to, I think that's just him playing with the
Twitters.
Yeah, playing with the Twitters.
Or maybe
you think he's just screwing with them?
Yeah. Because it's like, the way
that what a twist.
I know. He's got like the because we're almost there.
Yeah.
Only like what? 90 more 80 more years?
Only 78 more years.
So he's got claws. He's got like, pointy fingers and like he's got little hooks on his feet. So he kind of resembles this is what I think. I think that because they've been playing with the idea that ever since they did the Brand New Day stuff, people won't know who he is, can't know who Spider-Man is and won't remember who he is unless like somebody finds out.
Yeah.
And it's more likely going to be the fat gay guy, his boss.
Yeah.
Whatever dude's name is. Miles Morales or whatever.
It's Miles something, isn't it?
It is. I think it's like there's so many Miles Warren. Anyway, I digress. So I think he's gonna take like a spider body, like he's gonna make like a clone or something like that. I don't think Dr. Octopus is gonna die because I read this article with Slott where he was like, oh, Dr. Octopus, like he's always been my favorite villain because I'm a fat guy. He's a fat guy.
All right.
So
makes sense.
I didn't say that.
Love him.
Favorite movies, fat guy. Fatso. Fatso. He's a fatso. That he equated like the Peter Parker and Otto Octavius are so close to each other. They both came from radioactive experiment. They both have multiple arms,
parallel,
kinda. So
they both try to bang Aunt May.
They both try to bang Aunt May. They're both gross. Both in New York.
Yeah,
they're both circumcised. So and also at the end of this issue,
that's debatable.
Who isn't?
Spidey.
Spidey is circumcised.
They didn't.
He's a young Jew.
They retconned it.
I don't care what anyone says. He's a young Jew.
Retconned it. They retconned it to that was like that big
Irish
thing.
Catholic.
Yeah.
So ridiculous. There's no Irish Catholics in that part of Queens.
No, not Forest Hills.
Not Forest Hills. It's all Jukels.
So you.
Well, they had the end of the issue. Norman Osborn disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's like Otto gets into his like brainless body and he becomes like the new Spidey.
All right.
You with that?
I don't know. Maybe. You know what? Like, it's like Dan Slott has done a great job at tossing a lot of red herrings at us through the Spidey universe.
You ever seen a red herring before?
Like in real life.
Yeah.
They're gross.
Where did that terminology come from?
I think
Who tossed the first red herring?
Probably a guy who wanted to keep all the black ones for himself. I'm assuming herrings are black.
And you find out the etymology of red herring.
Yeah, buddy. I'm right. I'll get right on it. I got to show it around.
I'm gonna play some videos. YouTube, here I come.
So, you know what? Like, I think it's a good point. Like, you know, like the robot thing. It also, the end of Spider-Man left it that
he says he's not gonna do anything with that.
Nothing.
Yeah,
because Miles Morales knows who he is. Everybody in that universe knows who he is, and that will undo the spell from Mephisto that completely whacked everybody's head and then brought Aunt May back from the dead. Which I feel like should just be just written out at this point.
Yeah, I mean, just start forgetting about that storyline. Like, come up with another retcon or something just to erase that.
Think about this. Like, when we were still working at the store when that stuff happened. Ugh. That was like 6 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So Slott has been doing a tremendous job with Spidey.
I think it's lost a little bit of steam. I mean, I wish I liked it a bit more.
Okay.
I think this like storyline really like kind of brought me back to where it should be.
Yeah, the Spider Island stuff was good. I
really
like that like no one can die thing. I thought it was like a little.
The art was great.
Yeah.
That guy Manslaughter or whatever his name was pretty cool. The machine guns. That's how the whole thing started. It was just like he was like killing people. It was like, I can't let you kill people.
Yeah.
I will kill you instead.
But Spidey, that's the thing. Like Spidey's always been such a great book. Like since Slott took over, I want him to write Spidey forever. If him and Bendis did parallel Spidey books, like like when Bendis was doing Ultimate and he was doing Brand, I'm a happy camper with that. I feel like Bendis's very strong suit was Ultimate Spidey and like what he's doing now in Ultimate Spidey. I know it wasn't on the slate to talk about later, but his new X-Men book, it was all right.
Well, I read a really good article about that. I still think Octavius is going to be Spider-Man.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to go there. Right?
I think it's totally going to happen.
I think it's going to be a Norman ploy.
I think just because we think of him as like a German voice, that we can't think of him as Spider-Man. Like he's going to have that German voice.
No, you're right. I
think that's the thing that's blocking us. Anyway, so you know what the problem with all the X-Men was? I liked it. I love the concept. I think it's going to go in good ways. The problem was that I read an article about where they, it's one of those books where it's leading up to the ending. Right. And you know where the ending's going already because that's the way they solicit the book. Like you know that the original X-Men are going to come to our time. So that was the cliffhanger. Like you need to go back to the time. Like I knew this.
Yeah.
I read the previews. I read the little blurb. I saw it on the cover of the comic book. I don't need to. Like you should do a better cliffhanger than that.
You know what's going to happen?
What?
I mean, like
I have no idea what's going to happen.
I think they're all gonna.
What are we talking about?
I think they're all gonna be okay, except for Jean. She's gonna be like, "Really, that happens to me." And then like Angel's like, "Oh, okay, I'm still kind of alive." And Iceman's like, "I'm cool." And Cyclops is gonna be like, "I turn into Hitler." Like I essentially turn into like mutant Hitler.
Cyclops is a scary dude now too.
Yeah. And the end of Consequences was really excellent too. I know, just doing the DXs everywhere. If you want a home, come with me. And he's like,
come on, crappy mutants.
Yeah, he's like saving all the crappy mutants that nobody wants, which is cool. Like I like that ragtag team of like the purposeless team at this point of just like gathering people and where do they live?
What are they doing?
But
I think they just live in hell. They're living in limbo.
You know what? I think you're right about that. They're gonna have Asteroid M in the magic limbo world.
Where I just want Asteroid M again. I just want like Cyclops to go full blown bad guy.
Yeah. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think it's gonna be like that weird Magneto redemptive route.
They've hinted like many times.
Yeah, he's the closest he's ever been to being a villain.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone hates his guts. He is Hitler.
What I really liked about Consequences was the fact that when Cyclops escaped, he basically in his head he was like, "Well, Wolverine's the new me, so I'm cool to be a dick now." Like I'm all right.
I drink beer.
Yeah.
I have facial hair.
Because that speech, that nicely written speech where he was like, like I'm a murderer, but I always looked up to you, bub.
Yeah.
And you inspired me.
And I'm gonna go walk away. He's gonna walk away.
And he was like, bust me out of this jail, Magneto. And that's it,
And at first he's like, I don't want it to be. No, that drove me a little nuts too, because he brings out a little packet of like metal, I guess silica or whatever. It kind of drove me nuts. Like, what's he gonna do with that sugar? Like, what's he doing with sugar? Like, is he like worshiping like a Satan or something like that, or a Satan? Not Satan. One of the Satans.
There is no Satan in the
One of the great
universe.
Satans. Mr. Satan from Dragon Ball. That kind of drove me nuts, and then it took me because they never directly say it's metal.
Yeah,
like it's metal shavings. Like, where do you get metal shavings in prison?
Paper clips.
You don't get paper clips.
Not paper clips.
I don't think you get paper clips in Super Mutant prison.
No, that's true. They don't have the. Is that gonna bother you? Like the origin of like the metal shavings?
Yes.
Maybe he was just like scratching stuff and like putting under his fingernails
every day
or whatever. But this week also, last week I think was the first Iron Man.
First Iron Man.
And that was the first Marvel Now book. And now this week you have like a ton more Marvel Now books. And I like the creative shift, which is awesome.
Yeah.
DC, take a page out of this book, please.
Or any page.
With exactly. And just do something nice. Because I know we were talking about like the state of DC, where it's like, again, you're not getting like the bang for your buck. We have 20 minutes. We might as well talk about like Batman, which was awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah. Give us a little what Batman, like the lead up to this, and like the fact that Snyder is creating a new facet to the Joker character.
He has no face.
Yes.
So Joker is back. He's a complete psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
He really does have no face. He has attached his separate face with belts and clips and such, and he's going around and attacking the Bat family by recreating big moments in Batman's career. Like the first issue, he did the red, his creation. He dressed Harlequin up as the Red Hood, which he thought was what Batman thought was Joker. Trapped him in like a chemical vault, broke out, and then he beat Alfred over with a hammer.
Yep.
And this issue mostly takes place at the reservoir that he originally poisoned.
Yeah.
And he's like, like as you usually are used to Batman being like 3 steps ahead, this is showing that Joker is that much ahead of the game, because he flips it on him.
Yeah,
he's already killed everybody.
Yeah, in a very subversive way, where he's like, you know what, I made this mistake the first time. I'm gonna recreate it, but you know what?
Everyone's dead.
Like his whole thing was in this issue was like, and then like you're gonna try to save these people. Like there's 25 people over there, and then we're gonna fight and then we're gonna talk. So I killed everybody. Let's just get to the conversation.
Yeah.
And Batman's just like
what
fuming the entire time. And like I love the Batman Joker stories where it just seems like in this one he's gonna get pushed more to the brink of like, I'm gonna kill this dude. I'm gonna kill this guy. Once and for all. But I doubt. I hope that the run doesn't end with Joker dying, because this is such it brings like a new fresh perspective to the Joker character.
Yeah, and I think one of my favorite moments was when Batman gets back to Wayne Manor. He's like, "Oh, Alfred." He's like calling Alfred's name. He doesn't know what happened to Alfred yet, and he finds a tape, and he pops it in, and it's like it's Alfred and Joker's voice, and Alfred's like, "Oh, you think blindfolding me is going to be is going to bother me?" And he's like, I didn't blind, Joker goes, I didn't blind you. I, burned your eyes out with ammonia.
Yeah.
And it's like, here's some more. And like, you just hear him screaming.
Yeah.
And it's awesome, because you don't know if this is really going on or what.
Yeah.
But it'd be terrible if that dude has no eyes anymore.
Oh my God.
And they also made Gordon bleed out.
Yep.
But the big moment at the end is basically Joker reveals that he knows everything.
Do you think that's a red herring? Do you think that's a ploy?
Another fish? It's interesting that he doesn't ever say like his name.
Yeah.
I think it's a little unusual that he's doing that. Like, I think
more of a scare tactic.
It could be. I mean, I think it'd be a great thing. I mean, at this point, I think Joker is like that hyper genius that I kind of wish he does, because it doesn't make a difference at this point. Because he is attacking everyone around him, just like Batman says. Like, he doesn't really believe that he knows.
Yeah.
That the attack on Alfred just could be, going along with the pace. The moves of like attacking Gordon. I hope he does.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be like another last minute thing. I read Batgirl too. Did you read Batgirl?
No.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a solid issue.
I didn't pick it up.
He recreates the Killing Joke with him.
Really?
And I read Suicide Squad, which is very good. Kinda. Weirdest thing is because Deadshot's dead.
Okay.
And the first thing he does is he he goes to check the coffin.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he attacks him, and he goes to see if he's circumcised or not.
Really?
Yeah, continuing with the theme that we're doing tonight.
Interesting. Yeah. Fishes, circumcisions, bone pills, Heisenberg's. The thing I like about like Snyder writing the Joker is how he's writing him as saying like, I'm gonna bring Batman back to purity, because when we started out, it was just me and you, and now you got like these kids running around, you got
Holding
this chicks running, and like they're holding you down, and you're not like the pure Batman that I want. And he keeps referring to him as like the king.
Yeah, the God
and
King.
he's like, the God King, and I'm your jester, and the jester has to bring the king down to earth. You know,
bad news.
You know, and is it like a suicide mission on Joker's end? Is he really trying to see how far he can push Batman, or is he just kind of like giving Batman a wake up call and saying like, look, I'm the biggest thing you ever have to worry about. Do not ever forget that.
I don't know. I mean, like, it's a testament to Snyder, because I really don't know where any of his stories are ever going, because he does do it really well. Like he paints such a great plot along the way. Mm-hmm. No issue is ever filler. And also another big twist of this also was that, you know, Joker tells the Bat family that, hey, you know, I'm going to kill every last one of you. Mm-hmm. I'm going to attack you, you know, when you least expect it, but it's going to be through Batman. Batman's going to kill all of you.
Yeah, yeah.
So you don't know where that's going. I don't know how they're ever going to repair his face, which is like my biggest concern.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Take his face back.
I think it looks great. Mm-hmm. The other thing that's weird too, I thought it was just the Capullo thing, but the Joe's Garage thing. You notice this?
Yeah.
So he's wearing like, you know, like a
jumpsuit.
Jumpsuit with like, you know, Joe on the front. It says Joe's Garage, and it's prominent. I thought it was only like a Capullo thing just for this comic, but in every single one of the tie-ins, he's also shown up in this outfit. What is the significance of the Joe's Garage?
That's a good point.
First I thought it was like a play on words, like Joe's Garage is like Joker's Rage.
Yeah.
Joker's Rage.
Yeah.
But then someone brought up an idea that it could have something to do with Joe Chill.
Okay. That makes sense.
And and there's also that little book he's got, that the secret that only he knows. And he has like this book with secrets in it that's bound with like, you know, bat skin from his cave.
Yeah. Who knows?
A lot of weird stuff.
Would you be upset if the real reveal was that it wasn't Joker at all?
Yeah, it would be.
If it was Hush.
Yeah, that would deflate me.
Because it makes sense.
Why?
No face. Different face.
Too skinny though.
Alfred.
Like they made him really like bone thin in this.
Yeah.
Bobby thin.
Bobby
Bones.
I really want, like, this is like one of those books where it's like I really wish it came out like
every
twice
week?
A month, or like every week, like twice a month, to give me that 1 week of like suspense. But like
the
waiting
month
every
is
month,
so long for this book,
and it's such a phenomenal. It's been a phenomenal read since issue number 1, and we're at issue 14 right now. You know, this is a perfect example of what DC's doing right, like on this book.
I think Snyder's in control of it.
Snyder and Capullo are knocking it out of the park. You know,
yeah, it is, and you know what? It's they're slowly getting like the Bat books all online. Like Batgirl was definitely an improvement. You know, hopefully this will carry over. Batman Robin is still consistent. Detective Comics rocks right now.
Yeah,
it's a really, really good Penguin.
That's after what's his name took over, right?
John Layman.
Yeah. I gotta go back and read the rest of them.
Very good.
How'd you like the backup?
It was good.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the hell it meant though. Like I read the backup with Penguin, and I was like, all right, he killed all these dudes. He's gonna get Penguin on his side.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it. I didn't understand the consequences of it.
Okay.
Of like, you know, of course he's gonna side with him. He's a psychopath.
I think it's him. I think apart of, like, from that, which kind of ties into what I was saying before. Like, I think it's Joker coming. Like, he's the catalyst to get everything back in line, because the landscape of Gotham has been so different for so many years. Where it's like, you know, you even relaunch where you had Penguin being a legitimate businessman. You had Riddler going from like villain to hero, and like all that weird stuff that happened with him, and like all the other rogues too kind of went drastic changes. I think this may be Joker getting everybody in line and saying, like, you know what, your job is to kill people with umbrellas. Your job is to be a crocodile in the sewer. Like, your job is to be like a guy that freezes everything, and that's it. Like,
I hope so.
These are who we are. And that's who we fight every day.
Well, in 2 issues, I know we're getting a big Arkham Asylum issue.
Okay.
You know, because Capullo really wants to bring it back to that. And he had said that was like the most fun he's ever had. And it's like, and a big moment's going to happen in that book.
Oh, fantastic.
And I want to see what other type of big events that he's going to try and recreate. You know, it's such a solid book. It does get me a little bit too the waiting is very difficult.
And that's rare too, because like usually you have a lot of patience. We read like a lot of books every week, and like it's for Batman, and I'll throw Walking Dead in there.
Yeah, the wait is terrible.
The wait is just like, and especially like last issue of Walking Dead. I guess it's a good segue. The last issue of Walking Dead the same thing. Was excellent. Same page. Stupid freaking stand. The last issue of Walking Dead was not like a filler issue, but it kind of was. You get those every so often, and then
I love that issue.
He'll hit you with what came out yesterday.
Yeah,
which was completely incredible.
I think this entire run has been like this, this arc.
Yeah.
With what's the dude's name?
Negan.
Negan is incredible.
Henry Rollins,
dude. I mean, the last issue was basically him, flexing his power in the town they're at, the hilltop.
Yeah, making everybody know that there's bitch.
Yeah, and this issue was just basically breaking into Negan's compound. What an idiot!
What are you doing?
With a big M16 and also awesome Jesus stuff.
Yeah.
Not the Christ, the ninja guy. That's a new character.
Jesus Rodriguez.
Yeah. He was awesome, man. And because there's a part in the book where he's, this guy is a straight up ninja. He's probably the toughest dude they have now. This guy took down Michonne, where he's fighting a bunch of dudes. They know it's Jesus, and then he gets clunked over the head with like a gun butt. I was like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
And I didn't know that was part of the plan to infiltrate this crew.
Yeah, exactly. And then right when they get to the gates of Negan's complex, like they're like, all right, buddy, like we got hey, where'd you go? And he left.
He basically just like rolled out the back of the Jeep. Whoa. No security on him.
And like there's like I like how Negan's crew's all messed up. You have like the Two-Face guy,
Dwight,
the guy with one eye.
Yeah.
And like the dirty chick with like the crazy knife.
Yeah. They're terrifying.
Yeah.
There's an army of them.
Yeah.
Their base is rocking.
Oh my god. Like the
impaled zombies to keep them out.
It looks like an old chemical factory.
Yeah, it does. It looks like the last level on a video game.
Yeah. It was like the last Contra level. It just showed up, and it's frightening. Like if you read the entire series like this, you always kind of wonder what would be the top, because the number one thing that pops in everybody's head is always the governor. Yeah, that was like the one of the most hideous things that ever happened to them, because like there was one guy who just pushed it to the edge, and Negan is that much worse. Where like he's not saying he's a bad guy. He's saying, listen, I'm doing this for a reason, and if you cross me, like I'll just kill you, and he understands.
Or rape your mouth.
Yeah, and he understands everybody's strengths and weaknesses, but the fact that Carl snuck in like dirty mattresses to get to the complex and then shot a bunch of people and like couldn't, like he was holding like his 10-year-old kid holding a machine gun.
Yeah.
And then like Negan just kicked the crap out of him.
Like, you know what, kid? I'll admit that I'm terrified of you.
Yeah. It's insane. It's a really, really good issue.
I really don't know where to go, because it seems like this is going to screw up the plan.
Yeah.
Or I think that he's going to take him under his wing.
See, that's the thing. Like they could do a flash forward easily, but I don't think they're going to do that. I think Carl's going to end up dead.
I don't know about that.
I think I guarantee, not guarantee, but Carl's either going to end up dead, or Negan's going to make Rick the offer and say, look, like that guy dies, that guy dies.
Or your son.
Or we're going to kill Carl. And Rick, like that's the only thing that Rick will not like let go at all.
Negan definitely has the upper hand in this, and he does know how to manipulate the situation, because he does, like, dude, he has an army behind him. And I keep on feeling that this is going to end with somehow Negan joining the group.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
There's something about like the way they're fleshing him out, is I feel like they're going to be forced to deal with like him on the team.
They're going to be buds.
Yeah.
Like him and
Rick
like, against the world.
Reluctantly, yeah.
I'd like that buddy cop dynamic.
Like, I'm going to rape you.
We got to get out of the situation first. All right, buddy.
All right, then I'll rape you. Sex in your mouth.
It's good. That's like, again, like with the waiting, it's a great, it's such a great comic that you are always guessing what's going to happen next. And that's, a tribute to a great writer. You don't have that with a lot of books coming out now.
No, I think there's not. I mean, those are two books that are like always cliffhanger. They're packed to the gills with story, no filler. You always just want more.
Yeah.
Like and it's just like you can't wait. I can definitely wait for something. Like I get excited for books coming out, but very rarely do I put down a book like, oh damn, I want this. The only thing that's I'm really excited about this Amazing Spider-Man storyline.
Yes.
I'm like, this is like the most excited I've been about in a long time. But there's not many books there. I'm just like, maybe Uncanny Avengers, but not yet.
Yeah. That's like a slow brew, slow boil, I think. When Hickman took over Fantastic Four, I felt like that.
Yeah.
Where like I just wanted more and more and more, and
especially like near the Giant Storm stuff, and like that was really pushing it forward.
With the Fraction stuff, which was good. It was really good. You know, like I really like the fact that how, you know, Hickman established this universe, and Fraction's universe kind of like, he's playing with it and saying, and like it's a cool story that kind of came out of nowhere, where, you know, Reed realizes that they're starting to destabilize, and, you know, their powers are kind of like turning against them, and they're dying, and he's not telling anybody that they're dying. And you kind of wish Reed would learn his lesson, but he never does. Nope.
Bad father.
Smartest guy on the planet.
Bad boss. No worst boss.
Yeah. But it also leads into like the Mike Allred.
Yeah,
like,
which I honestly, that's the one I'm more excited about.
Yeah.
I want to see this like crazy Stags version of FF.
You
know,
the Ant-Man,
She-Hulk, Miss Thang.
Throw Ghost Rider in there and I'll be happy.
Boy.
What other book?
Thor.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I did enjoy it. I thought it was it's a really cool concept. It's basically the big villain is this thing called the God Butcher, which is
so good.
It's a great name.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things I was like, why didn't they do this before? It's such a good name.
Yeah.
Someone who's going around through time and killing gods. But what's great about it is that the book is divided in like young Thor, modern day Thor, and then future King Thor with one arm, one eye, and the dude who is not using the hammer. He can't lift it anymore.
No, he has a hammer. He has the spear and the hammer, but his other arm is the Destroyer's arm.
That's right. He's like, bring me my arm.
So he's the last dude. He's the last
I remember
god.
him picking up I remember him with the Odin sword, but I remember seeing the hammer there. I didn't just pick up on that.
That like the old Thor stuff. Like I was going into the book, because Fraction's been writing it for so long, and then like you had like a lot of great writers tackling Thor through like the last few years, and Jason Aaron has a certain style of writing.
Well, and he's also completely versatile, which we didn't really know about him until he came on to Wolverine X-Men.
Yeah, you know, and like he's really
and my favorite Spider-Man Wolverine.
Yeah. It's still not my favorite.
Did you read all of that story?
I did read the whole story. Okay. It was all right.
I think you did.
I did.
Because they're about to make Dog into the big villain in X-Men now.
I know that. That was the other tidbit. The blurb was biggest villain the X-Men have had in years.
Dog. Yeah. The bounty hunter.
Hey, Malao, brother. Come on, man. Don't do those drugs anymore. Your life is worth it, man.
A little off topic. I saw there was a Dog the Bounty Hunter parody porno.
Is there?
And the dude that got for it is amazing.
Does he look like Dog?
No. But he looks like how Dog wants to look.
Awesome.
He's like the more polished, like, yeah.
He's like the badass Dog. The real badass.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Anyway.
So like, yeah, Jason Aaron really like knocked it out of the park in my eyes with this one because of just like the way he wrote Thor, because he incorporates that little, like, he always incorporates a little touch of the horror aspect into like everything he writes, you know.
And American Indians,
yeah. And or like in this case, like Norse followers or whatever.
I think he watched what was the movie? Valkyrie Rising. Valhalla Rising.
Yeah.
And watched that. I was like, yes.
But it was cool because it tackles like the main reason why I liked it is because it talks about stuff that like you don't really think of with Thor. Where it starts out with him in the past, and then, you know, he saves the day, and he basically becomes like the ruination of this village.
Yeah,
you know, like that. I feel like that was the subplot where like he killed the troll or whatever, and then he did more damage by celebrating than this thing did by like attacking, and then as modern day Thor saying like going to a planet because somebody prayed to him, and he's like, what kind of god would I be if I didn't come? And they're like, well, you know, we don't have gods. And he was like,
what?
Like, the hell you say? No gods, you're crazy. And he gets like insulted by the fact that
like, you don't got rainbow bridges.
You know, like, it's real. It's real. You know, and then he goes to like the fact that this dude's like, I'll show this guy. I'm gonna go find his god.
He goes like 100 feet into this space. It's right there.
Because God, like that blew my mind. Where he's like, of course he knows where to go. Like all gods live in another Asgard somewhere. So he finds it, and then they're like these 200-foot tall like dead gods. Apparently,
and he knows all of them.
Yeah,
he knows all the names. He's like, oh, there's There's Wawa and Mosh Mosh.
I haven't seen him in ages.
What I thought was really cool about it too was that they kind of like covered all the bases in terms of like what Thor gets involved in.
Yeah.
You had like Viking stuff, you had like Odin stuff, and you had the weird space stuff that he does every once in a while.
Yeah.
So they cover like all the bases.
Yeah.
And no women.
Very versatile. That is true. That is true.
Only one alien broad, and that's it.
Well, he like that. Yeah. But he, he did his business in the village.
Yeah, he did.
What did he say? He was like, like, what are you guys worrying about? There's tons of worn women and cold ale inside.
I ate so much goat.
All right, man. Just chill out. And
I love this type of Thor.
Yeah, like the kind of like
ridiculous.
It's you can't do like he has to have a Swedish accent or like a Dutch accent or something. You know what? I think all of my life I've heard him with an American accent, and I'm like, what am I doing? And now I really do hear what's his name now from the movie Hemsworth.
Yeah, I do hear that like that cocky. When he was eating and like throwing the coffee cup on the floor. Yeah. Like, I love coffee. I hear that voice in my head every single time.
The sound clip that always plays in my head is I think it's from Avengers where he's like, "But you're all so tiny."
Yeah, I like my idea of like a prick Thor. With a British accent.
Yeah,
not a Swede. I never thought of a Swede.
They eat all the goods.
I never. Oh. Yeah. I never like think of an ethnic Thor.
No, it's more accurate with the Swedish accent though.
Well, my first Thor was Eric Masterson, so I knew that this was an American Thor.
True.
That was the first like Thor I picked up, and him fighting mongoose and Anaconda.
Yeah. Are you sad that he's not around anymore?
No.
That Thunderstrike is not.
I was really
nowhere to be found.
That was my Thor. I was pissed off when they were bringing back like old school Thor. And I was like, what about Eric Masterson? He's got a life, guys.
He's got a lot to give.
He was both guys. But now I don't miss him at all.
I like the Jake Olsen Thor.
Oh, I hated Jake.
I didn't mind the Jake Olsen story. It led into like some great stories. He
was an EMS worker?
Yeah. It made sense.
Stupid.
But what was Eric Masterson, bro?
He was a construction worker.
Yeah. Like
he built things with his hands.
He saved people with his hands.
Whatever. Thor doesn't save people. He does a hammer.
It's to build.
Hammer of religion.
No, it's so tiny. How dare you say there's no gods? I'm gonna find them. There's Marshall.
Where's Moosh Moosh?
Moosh Moosh. All right. I think we're done. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We gotta move because some radio show's coming on next. You've been watching season 2 of the first episode of season 2 of Behind the Counter. I'm Rich Stambolian.
Tune in for the last episode next week.
We're all getting fired. It's over. Good night, everybody.
Ciao.